Hey everyone, I'm Nat,
I'm Arty.
and welcome to the Arty Nat show.
And this is the space that we'll be able to explore a lot about the self. And I guess that's kind of the main purpose for this show, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Arty and I spend heaps of time on the phone discussing and then arguing about all of life's challenges, our ups and downs. And you get it wrong all the time. Of course we argue. And so, yeah, basically we just thought we have so much fun talking and sharing our different perceptions of the world. And then we end up helping each other. Hey, and we learn so much more. And we teach our clients new things, learn new things for our clients. So we thought we'd start a bit of a YouTube channel where we get to talk to you guys about the shit that we talk about every day to do with the mind, body and spirit.
Yeah, that's right. And what's awesome about that is the way we talk to each other about things is there's always like a real interesting contrast that goes on, and so we'll be able to give you guys like really different perspectives. I'm like all the way up beyond the normal etheric sort of thing, whereas Nat's like really has a really earthly approach as well, and a really simplified way of looking at things, whereas the way I tend to look at things can be really complicated, but simple to me.
I know, it's really funny. Most of my friends who are watching this are all going to be like, but Nat, you're the hippie woo-woo one. Yeah, no, wait till we... Yeah,
it's not very nice. Don't worry about setting an expectation.
Yes, it's funny. At least we'll laugh at you.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah. But if anyone agrees with what Arty says when we do our energy talks, I'd love to hear. And one day I'll eat my words. Yeah.
All right, well.
So what else are we doing?
So, what about we just talk about just ourselves, I suppose, just a little bit. What's your journey been, and how is it that you evolved into this, really?
Well, it all started back when I was a little conscious being watching my parents have sex, trying to decide if they're the one. Oh, wait, you don't mean that far back? Okay. So.
That's an awesome visual. Thanks for that.
I know, the things you learn in Buddhism.
So start there, yeah.
So my name's Nat. I love healing people, making people happy, calm, chilled, and actually want to live. I've got my own little wellness business called Wellness with Nat, and I make beautiful herbal teas, and I run meditation and mindfulness courses, and I'm a Buddhist, so lots of my teachings incorporate all of the amazing things we've learnt from the Buddha over the years, and which I think is what makes me a little bit more grounded than when we chat with Arty. So on the flip side, we have Arthur who?
Well, I really enjoy trying to understand all these weird and wonderful energies, and I like the concepts of consciousnesses, and even just around entities, I guess. Entities I really enjoy. And the funny thing is, the more I've evolved around entity work, there's actually nothing there. But somehow there is. Yeah, it's really interesting. And so...
What's an entity, just to explain to our viewers?
Well, I guess you and I are entities. So Nat's her own entity and Arty's his own entity.
So you're saying I don't exist?
So you do exist. And then let's assume, though, like within your entity, there could be other entities as well. So like those aspects of our beings that we really struggle with, something really simple where, I'm going to eat something and something inside of me says, no, you shouldn't eat that. But then I'm like, yeah, I will. So already there's that contrast.
Yeah.
There's like two separate...
story of my life with food.
Yes. But not just with food. Like that's just a real loose example. You could use that with so many other things in our lives. And I think the purpose of our show is to help with aligning that stuff. So, you do have that inner strength and power to say, you know what, this is what I'm going to do, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
And then with Arthur, he works on believing that there's the entity of, say, overeating within our body that he can work with you and physically remove. And then I believe that I work with the energy, that there is an energy around that thought form, but it's just a thought, and it's something that has attached itself to our body, though, in thought form more than picturing entities, because and then with my coaching techniques of energy healing, we get that out of you. Thankfully we both actually do good jobs, so you know, we're both right, but
it's pretty amazing work, hey?
It is.
It's really amazing, and that's what I really love about it. It's just, it can take you anywhere, hey? Like, you don't know what's within that energy form. Like, it's and it's amazing, and I really like hearing what they have to say. It's I'll make it sound really fun, but
it's
somebody
really
that's
creepy.
new to it,
It's really creepy.
At first it was creepy, whereas now it's just kind of normal. You know, it's just like, whatever.
Creepy, nice. So what can people expect when they watch our show?
Well, I think an open and curious mind is a good way to approach it and not have any actual expectation, because you don't know what we're going to come up with. So I know from my end, I definitely like to challenge things, and I like to challenge current concepts, and how people use those current concepts. So I don't mean to offend people, but I may.
That's a very fair, very fair statement. And one thing that we have agreed on is that lots of our discussions will be around the mind, body, and spirit. So whether we're looking at it from the sort of Buddhist perspective, or the esoteric celestial perspective, or anywhere in between, or down below, whatever, you really can actually get through your life, like life's challenges, communications, relationship issues, stuff at work, family, yourself, self-worth. If we actually look at all three of the mind, body, and spirit component, you actually live such a more calmer life, happier life, and making decisions when you look at yourself as a whole with the mind, body, and spirit, just, like, even though they're not the nicest decision, you feel at peace with it. So we've learned a lot through our let's dissect the issue and see what the meaning behind it is, and let's work out how to do this life more with ease and grace, really.
I think the more you understand about that stuff, then you start to learn more about yourself, hey? And the more you learn about yourself, then you realise, hang on, why was I even worrying about that?
I know.
It's not even really important. But once it was, like, it actually existed, and it was like, whereas now it's just, I don't know, all those levels. It's like we're drifting lower, but at the same time, increasing as well. Yeah, it's really interesting. So mind, body, and spirit, such a powerful thing.
It is. Yeah. Maybe we could talk about what the mind, body, and spirit is to each of us.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Give that a quick little, in case you're like, what the? Okay, so.
Is this where we're going to argue?
Like, I can really write down what is the mind, body, and spirit, because I really love using those words. Wait, how's what we prepared earlier? Okay, so the basic gist behind mind, body, and spirit is that, so body, physical body, and you'll notice that, think of making a decision to, I don't know, what kind of analogy can we use to bring all three in?
Well, if you look at all three individually, so you've got the physical body, the vessel, and like, without a spirit, it can't have mind, and without mind, it can't have spirit. So if you looked at the human body on its own, it can't exist without something occupying it.
Agreed,
So spirit. So now spirit has occupied the vessel, But one thing I've realized is the physical body itself really needs to survive. So it does everything in its power to keep us alive, no matter how we treat it.
Yeah.
Hey, so we could treat it really poorly and it'll do everything to protect us. We could treat it really well and it'll probably love us more.
Yeah.
I'll let you know when I start treating it well. Yeah. But then once you've got spirit inside body, then you've got mind. And I don't see mind like the brain. Mind is part of our consciousness. And that's where the actual life comes. That's where we go from human to human being, where it's actually alive now and it actually has a purpose. It has something, and that purpose is very individual. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. The mind is. Do we agree that the mind is a consciousness?
Yeah, I do believe mind and consciousness to be separate as well. I reckon that's like the fourth
thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so the mind is like the decision maker.
I think the mind I see is like a translator between the physical vessel and spirit. So I kind of see that's the part where, I don't know, a lot of people would call that ego as well. And I really don't like that word. But
no, it's, I agree. Egos. Well, there's that. Ego is kind of the darker side of us, like pride. Like, you know, if you're showing too much pride, it's the ego that gets hurt, right? Like it's the ego that is it's your ego that makes you feel hurt by something, makes you feel proud of something. It's not your being.
But then what happens?
Because your mind and body.
What can it be hurt then?
Is there such thing as a healthy ego?
I don't know. That's why I don't like the word. I think there's too much attached to it, and I think by attaching to like such words like the ego, you're already creating future possible responses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you go by the law of attraction and you're thinking it, then you're manifesting it. It'll become its own entity.
So he does this all the time. Always the words. Always the words.
Well, it is.
Don't think of it because you'll manifest it. So what am I meant to do?
Well, you will manifest it. That was interesting. That was your fault.
I don't know what that was. Yeah, that was some spirit. That was some entity saying what you're talking is crap.
Yeah, it was saying you're spot on the money. You see, it was a sign. It was a sign from God. So I forgot where we're at.
Well, I guess so. Mind, body, spirit is. Even though we are complete professionals and know exactly what the mind, body, and spirit are, we do know that you need to have a balance in the way that you're thinking and doing things. So that's me playing with my Reiki energy, feeling the balance, something I do a lot. Yeah. But it kind of reminds me that I'm connected, you know, that it's not just this physical body. I can feel and, you know, if you kind of do it too, rub your hands together and then slowly move them apart and get a bit of distance. And then when you try to push forward, you can feel it's like, what's this ball thing? Why can't I mean, obviously, if you're really rough, you can put your hands together. But, you know, let's be gentle.
Yeah, it's very sensitive.
Sensitive touch, yeah. And, you know, that reminds me that there's more than just my physical body. There's more than just my mind and my brain. You know, there's a subconscious and the conscious mind. But then there's this extra realm. I kind of think the spirit's kind of our soul. You know, like what's important to us, what's important to our heart. Arthur and I are just being Reiki geeks right now and that energy that we just accumulated into our hearts. Because
just did it so naturally too.
I just looked on the screen and like, oh, how dare we right now? Yeah, Reiki geeks. Yeah,
this wouldn't have happened years ago.
Yeah, it's basically we want to help you to become the best you, and we want you to get out of bed, want to go to bed, because it's important to respect your body and sleep. Sleep well, eat well. Sorry, let me have a cup of tea. What I made earlier. Actually, do you like my new cup?
It's beautiful.
Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. I can't read it though, the writing's too small.
She's.
It's going.
It's.
Oh, hang on, wait.
I don't know.
You can't read it either.
Something.
It's the saying of, he's got it. You have bad eyes. It's on in her. It's hard to wake up the same person that I was yesterday. Because I'm a different person today.
It's something going back to yesterday because I was a different person then. Oh, it's no use going back to yesterday because I was a different person then.
Okay.
There you go.
So it's no use going back to yesterday because I was a different person then, which is so true, right? And that's part of us as well. Like, you evolve and you change differently every day. And even in Buddhism, that each new day is a new rebirth, really. Like, you have this new opportunity to let go of yesterday. Just pretend it's that old newspaper you're throwing in the bin, emptying your trash file on the computer. Like, just delete it and don't hold on to it. You know, let's move forward.
Well, how do you even know yesterday even existed?
That's right. And when was yesterday?
Yeah. Like, do you need photographic evidence to prove that yesterday was there, or do you have to write?
Is it real? Is anything real? Is this video real? Is this tea real?
I think it's starting to sound like me.
I've also just spent 3 months at a Buddhist meditation centre where we work on the concept of emptiness, the emptiness of all things. And that really, it's just a consciousness, which is the mind that is here but not here. Everything's very impermanent. Yeah. So we'll talk more about that.
Yeah. So as you can
in
tell,
a hands-on way. Though.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, no, what?
So as you can see, because we haven't actually made a plan for this video other than just to introduce ourselves, like, it's all kind of everywhere. So
let me just clarify. I brought my notepad and really wanted to do a staged out thing, but someone said,
yeah, let's just run with it.
That's not how to do it. Yeah.
Let's just run with it. And I think we've done well so far.
I think we have. I can't tell how many minutes we're up to.
Well, let's focus on next session. So next session, what were we going to focus on?
Anywhere? So our first, I think, well, we're leading up to Christmas. So what about dealing with people at Christmas, dealing with family, dealing with people going on leave, having to handle all of that?
You know, you're digging a hole there by bringing up Christmas.
Yeah. Although that could be the December one, and we could do one before that.
It's like a very strong views on these things.
I think Christmas is wonderful. I love seeing my family.
Yeah, for what it was designed for.
That's why I go to my friend's house for Christmas.
Yeah. There it is. So we're going to do Christmas. Right, let's do Christmas.
Yeah?
Yeah, because there's a bit of history in that I can share to make everybody feel real awesome about Christmas.
Nice. Well, actually, I just realised the date, and we'd probably have another November episode first. So,
okay.
What would you like to do?
You know what I want to do? I want to do expectations.
Oh, God, how did I not expect that?
You're putting expectations out there. You're predetermining.
All right. So, how will our banter on expectations help our viewers?
So I'm really big on how, because I believe our true essence is we're creators, and no matter what we do, that's all we do is create.
Yeah.
Whether it's creating destruction, whether it's creating love, whether it's creating anger, peace, whatever possible emotion you can think is a creation.
Yeah.
And whatever physical thing that we can do is a creation also. You know, one's not right and one's not wrong. They're just different kinds of creations.
Mm-hmm.
Some are really comfortable, some are really uncomfortable. But then when you start putting expectations into things,
I wondering where you were getting to.
Yeah, now you have many possible creations to work with. And so I believe expectations is a really unhealthy thing.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure. Like, that was very woo-woo side of you. But however,
to call me names.
the second that you put an expectation on something. Like, you know, I expected you to be here at 10, you didn't get here till 11.
Hey, it was just before 11. Don't have to be so critical.
But I'm like, and then I'm like, well, I could be like, where the hell is he? But then again, it's Arthur and he's always late. So it's kind of like, but if I held on to that expectation, then it can ruin your day. Yeah. And it eats away at you and your thoughts and then your mood. And the more you hold on to that expectation and then take it into your body, that's where we get illnesses. And
well, you're creating, aren't you?
Exactly. Creating an entity, as I would say.
Yeah. Well, you're creating a consciousness which can become an entity. Yeah, if you put enough life into it, then it'll become an entity. Or already started as an energy form. Yeah. And if you give it too much life, then it will become life.
And even in Buddhism, we believe the same thing, that, you know, we all have thoughts and thoughts come and go. But if you hold on to a thought and then you hold on to it and hold on to it and hold on to it, it's eventually going to manifest as an illness or injury around your body.
But let's do that next episode. Yeah.
So what are you going to get out of listening to our expectations chat?
Expectations.
Don't have any expectations. Then you won't be disappointed. But what we will do is we will make sure that at the end of every recording YouTube show that there'll be some steps that you can take away.
Yep, some real simple exercises. And they're all really simple things. And that's what drives me about this kind of work, is how simple it can actually be.
Exactly.
And really profound. And I think the only hard thing about any of this kind of work is actually doing the work. And you don't have to do much of it, hey?
No, yeah.
Like, it's
a nice, simple.
Yeah.
We're going to make it easy for you so that you can be like us. So
until next time, thank you for your patience with my friend Natalie here. And
I was like, live, laugh, love, and shine bright.
Until the next episode when we do expectations. Thank you, Natalie.
Thank you, Artys.
You're welcome.
Bye, everyone.
See you guys.
Okay, and don't forget, leave comments and chat and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, and if there's anything you want to explore as well. Yeah. So we've put a lot of time into this stuff. So we have pretty good knowledge around a lot of things, but then we're always cool with things we don't know either.
I know, that'll be fun. Then I can demonstrate how right I am.
That's right. I do dribble. Thanks, everyone.
Happy Wednesday.
Bye.
Bye.